Naruto, Hyuga member Awakens godly Tenseigan. Like, share and subscribe. Episode 11. The system remains silent. I don't care, I must be compensated for this matter, otherwise. Hyuga Chen found embarrassingly that he could not do anything about the system. This time it's your mistake, you have to make a compensation. His system does not play cards according to the routine, and Hyuga Chen has no choice but to ask for something. After a year of understanding, Hyuga Chen knew that his system was very rigid, lacking intelligence at all, let alone feelings, and trying to reason with it and playing emotional cards would simply not work. So Hyuga Chen caught its mistake directly. Anyway, this time it was indeed a systematic fault. Host is reasonable, 1 reward compensation package, 100,000 redemption points, 1 chance to draw a prize. Hyuga Chen nodded in satisfaction, and did not argue with the system anymore. It was pretty good to be able to get these things. Even if the system didn't give anything, he couldn't do anything about it. People had to understand and know enough. Let's draw again. The prizes did not change, and the pointer began to run quickly, and soon slowed down. This time, the previous events did not appear, but stopped on the treasure of the king. A golden key appeared in Hyuga Chen's hand. Hyuga Chen opened the king's treasure. The golden light was shining and it looked full, but there was nothing inside. This thing is now a waste, and it can be used as a storage room at most. Hyuga Chen vomited. He also needs a systematic backpack, so even as a storage room, he is not qualified. Keep it. Maybe it will be useful in the future. Hyuga Chen put away the key, and then clicked on the lucky draw. The system compensated for a lucky draw chance, so there is no need for it. The prizes are refreshed again, with a total of 6 items, namely, Pupil Technique, Moon Reading, Uranus Senbon Sakura, Swordsman Class Swordsmanship, Impure World Reincarnation Technique, Pupil Technique, Huangquan Biliang Zaka, Zanpakuto, Senbon Sakura. This time Hyuga Chen was happy. It was the worst swordsmanship level among the swordsmanship. It was also very useful for Hyuga Chen. Quickly click on the lottery, the pointer spins rapidly, and then stops, to the 80 God Air Strike. A stream of light fell into Hyuga Chen's mind, and the 80 God Air Strike had been initially learned by Hyuga Chen. However, it is impossible to learn to use it, not to mention the consumption of chakra. This trick belongs to the bloodstaining technique, and it cannot be used at all now. Although I don't know the 8 inner gates formation how strong Yi Gai is, it will definitely not exceed the 80 inner gates. Hyuga Chen said silently. After exiting the lottery page, Hyuga Chen went to check the system's compensation package. According to the items opened last time, I think it won't be bad this time. Opening the gift bag this time, Hyuga Chen learned to be clever, and quickly closed his eyes, afraid of being flashed by the dazzling golden light. Read more at hauntnovel.xyz. 2 or 3 seconds later, Hyuga Chen opened his eyes. There were still 3 items, 1 for injection medicine, 1 for armament hockey, and the rest is a box of canned beef. Ignoring the canned beef, and his familiar armament hockey, Hyuga Chen looked at the injection medicine. Super Serum, System Modification Version. It can increase physical fitness, 10-fold without side effects. The introduction is very short, but Hyuga Chen already knows what it is. Isn't this the serum injected by the US captain? Hyuga Chen feels a little disappointed. Although the serum is also very powerful, it is still far from the expectations of Hyuga Chen. Host, remind you that this serum has been systematically modified. As long as you do not break through the 6 realms, you can increase your physical fitness by 10 times. Hyuga Chen's eyes lit up, and it was a bit perverted. Is it at the super shadow level? By relying on physical skills, he can be tough with the 6th level characters. Thinking of this, Hyuga Chen hurriedly put the serum back and kept it. Let's use this thing later. Although it is refreshing for a while after using it now, it can't exert the maximum effect of the serum. After that, Hyuga Chen opened the system store and bought Shadow Clone Technique and multiple Shadow Clone Techniques. Shadow Clone Technique costs 30,000 exchange points, and multiple Shadow Clone Techniques cost 50,000 exchange points. If it were not for system compensation, Hyuga Chen would not be able to afford it. It feels like this mall is just a furnishing. The things sold are too expensive and the exchange points are too few. Looking at the prices in the mall, Hyuga Chen complained. After learning armament hockey, Hyuga Chen withdrew from the system space, and did not intend to practice, lying on the bed to sleep. After sleeping 3 rods in the sun, the warm sun shines on Hyuga Chen's handsome cheeks. Hyuga Chen rubbed his eyes, then sat up, and checked the time. It was already past 9. It seems you can't relax. Once you relax, you will become lazy. In the past, when I was training for a whole day, Hyuga Chen would also get up before 6 o'clock. Yesterday, he relaxed for a whole day, but he was angry even later. After getting up quickly and washing, Hyuga Chen didn't want to cook anymore, and took out the canned beef that was opened out of the system compensation package yesterday. Hyuga Chen ate 5 cans in a row, then patted his stomach, changed into training clothes, and took the purchased kunai and shuriken. He tied a specially made lead block on his body and opened the door to go out. The sun shone on Hyuga Chen's face, causing Hyuga Chen to squint his eyes, and there was a trace of laziness in his eyes. Oh. If you can, I really want to take a good rest. Hyuga Chen, I didn't expect you to wake up so late. It's really shameful. If you want to be a powerful ninja, how can you be so slack? In the yard, after seeing Hyuga Chen, he walked over and said with a group of Hyuga kids and Hyuga iron plates playing ninja games, by the way, why are you always away from home? I want to find you to play a ninja game, but I can't find it. Hyuga Teppen complained to himself, we won't play with him. Mom said, he is a trash, don't let us play with him. The kid next to him retorted, Hyuga Teppen is a little embarrassed. One is a companion playing together, and the other is his own little brother, think of himself. He feels very uncomfortable. After thinking about it, Hyuga Teppen still chose a small partner. Hyuga Chen smiled. He doesn't care about these children. It has been Konoha for 26 years now. The Second Ninja World War took place in Konoha's 32 years, that is, there are still 6 years to go. At that time, these people just graduated from the ninja school. If Konoha's battle conditions are tight, they may also be sent to the battlefield. Whether they can survive then is a question. Now Hyuga Chen wants to quickly improve his strength. In the Ninja World War, the strength of the elite Jonin is nothing but self-preservation. Only the strength of the shadow level can control a battle, so Hyuga Chen wants to break through to the shadow level before the start of the Second Ninja War. The 10-year-old film class looks exaggerated, but for Hyuga Chen, it is not impossible. Uchiha Itachi can be 13 years old and has the strength of the film class, and with a perverted sage body, a talent that is stronger than Itachi, so Hyuga Chen is confident. Episode 12. Hyuga Chen left the Hyuga family and came to the back mountain again. Shadow Clone Technique. Hyuga Chen made seals on both hands and used Shadow Clone Technique. With a bang, 2 figures identical to Hyuga Chen appeared next to Hyuga Chen. You go to practice Marine 6 styles, you go to study the 80 God Airstrike, and strive to simplify the 80 God Airstrike. Hyuga Chen ordered. The 80 God Airstrike must have the Blood Successor Snare before it can be used, and the Blood Successor Snare requires the integration of 7 chakra attributes. The current Hyuga Chen certainly can't do it, and can only find a way to simplify the 80 God Airstrike, or else it can only be left. Hyuga Chen himself started to exercise and develop and use Sparkling Fruit. Although Shadow Clone can speed up the practice, it can only practice ninjutsu, and it is impossible to exercise. Sparkling Fruit can only be used by Hyuga Chen. Shadow Clone cannot be used. This Hyuga Chen has been tried. Fortunately, I have seen pirates. Compared with Kizaru's moves, it is easy to develop Sparkling Fruit. Half of Hyuga Chen's body has become a photon. Now Hyuga Chen cannot be elementalized all over his body, and needs constant practice. However, Hyuga Chen believes that after more than 10 days, he can control the elementalization. By then, he will be basically invincible in this era. According to Hyuga Chen's speculation, Truth-Seeking Ball and Inyang Dun should be able to restrain elementalization, but I don't know if chakra is possible, and Rinnegan's gravity is also the nemesis of light. However, at this time, as long as the hidden Uchiha Madara does not attack him, the elementalization is basically invincible. After developing Sparkling Fruit, Hyuga Chen discovered that using chakra can also spur Sparkling Fruit. This discovery made Hyuga Chen a little surprised. Laser, a beam of light shot forward, piercing through several trees, and then hit a large rock. Boom! There was an explosion, and the one-person high bluestone turned into fragments. Tisk, this power, even Rasengan can't match it. Hyuga Chen looked at this power and smacked his lips. If Hyuga Chen gathers more photons, the power will increase further. If Kizaru is put in Naruto, what kind of strength should it be? Hyuga Chen couldn't help thinking. Read more at hompnovel.xyz. This Hyuga Chen also doesn't know. If he guesses, he should have the strength of the Super Shadow early stage, which is definitely better than the Shadow level. The old man of 3rd generation is definitely not Kizaru's opponent. This is not to belittle Naruto's combat effectiveness and to increase the combat effectiveness of pirates. Kizaru is already standing on top of the pirate. Those who can hold down Kizaru, namely 4 emperors, Garp, and 5 elders, are the 4 emperors, Garp, and 5 elders, and they hold down Kizaru. Can they take him down with absolute certainty? So according to Hyuga Chen's speculation, Whitebeard should be similar to Uchiha Madara without Rinnegan, and 5 elders, Garp, and Gangbing Kong are basically at this level. Even if it is elevated, it will be a fight against Senju Hashirama who uses celestial arts, and it will definitely not be able to beat a 6th level character. However, looking at it this way, there are really a lot of awesome characters in the pirate. After removing the 6 levels, the pirate can definitely hang Hokage. After training all morning, Hyuga Chen was like a dead dog, lying on the ground and practicing for half an hour before finally recovering. Then the Shadow Clone technique was lifted, and a sense of exhaustion came, but Hyuga Chen could bear it, but he could still bear the 2 Shadow Clone. After practicing for a while, Hyuga Chen took out 2 cans of beef, and the dry food that he brought at home, placed them on top of the stone, and then Hyuga Chen took out a handful of kunai. He held it in his hand and turned it twice, and then Hyuga Chen threw it out. Under Hyuga Chen's mighty power, Quan Gu had penetrated the tree and hit the rabbit that was grazing 100 meters away. Manipulate gravity, pull the dead rabbit over, then skillfully peel the skin, light it, and then wear it with branches and set it up on the fire. Due to financial constraints, Hyuga Chen often eats game, relying on eating for a long time, and the skill of single-handed barbecue absolutely crushes anyone. After eating, Hyuga Chen began to train hard again. This time, Hyuga Chen divided 10 shadow clones and 3 to practice Marine 6 styles, all the rest to study the 80 God airstrike. Hyuga Chen did not develop sparkling fruit anymore, but began to exercise. First did 500 push-ups, and then walked to a big tree hugged by 4 people. Hyuga Chen began to strike. Every punch and every foot made the tree vibrate. The bark of this tree has fallen off cleanly underneath, and there are still many fist prints and footprints. Regardless of the blood left on his fist and the sweat on his face, Hyuga Chen began to work hard. If you want to be a strong person, without bleeding or sweating, where it is so easy to succeed, Hyuga Chen always believes that every effort is rewarded. After hard work, another day passed, and in the evening, Hyuga Chen lifted the shadow clone, endured mental fatigue, dragged his tired body, and walked towards home. The red sunset reflects the figure of Hyuga Chen. His thin and tired body is not bent at all, strolling in the sunset. Dragging a tired pace, Hyuga Chen returned home, although he looked very embarrassed, but there was a smile on his face. Lifting my hands, the place I was injured before is now completely healed. This is the abnormality of sage body. Of course, there are many people with sage body, but only Senju Hashirama can reach this point. As for the previous Otsutsuki Ashura, Hyuga Chen doesn't know much about it, so you can come if you want. Moved, took a shower, then lay on the bed, and began to close his eyes and meditate. Hyuga Chen is now thinking about how to get ninjutsu. Although there are all kinds of ninjutsu in the system store, it is too expensive and Hyuga Chen can't afford it. As for the Chidori, which can be created by the vast number of travelers, forgive Hyuga Chen for not remembering Jane's gestures. Although Hyuga Chen has many abilities, he doesn't have enough skills. Although the Hyuga family has never used ninjutsu, they can use ninjutsu. It seems that there should be ninjutsu in the family, but how can I get it? Hyuga Chen scratched his head irritably. Speaking of which, the family hasn't given me chakra refining art yet. Has it completely given up on me? Hyuga Chen guessed. Hyuga Chen has also thought about creating his own ninjutsu, but he does not know much about ninjutsu now. If he can create it, that would be nonsense. After thinking about it for a long time, his mind was about to explode, and he didn't come up with a clue, so he simply didn't think about it. Anyway, he didn't have to ninjutsu. Sitting on the bed, Hyuga Chen began to refine chakra, which is what Hyuga Chen does every day. After refining Chen, Hyuga Chen directly lay down to sleep. Episode 13. Early the next morning, Hyuga Chen got up to wash, and then prepared his own breakfast. After finishing the breakfast, Hyuga Chen did not go to practice immediately, but refined chakra on the tatami in the living room. Today is when the family is giving subsidies. Hyuga Chen doesn't want to miss out because of his practice. The money in his hands has already been spent 7 or 88, just waiting for the family subsidy and his father's compassionate relief. When it was past 7 o'clock, Hyuga Chen opened his eyes suddenly. It's finally here. But after a while, the door of Hyuga Chen's house was pushed open, and Chunin, a 20-something Hyuga family, walked in. With a blank face, he took out the subsidy belonging to Hyuga Chen, and said with a disgusted expression, "This is your subsidy. Also." Chunin reached into the ninja bag, took out a scroll and handed it to Hyuga Chen. "This is chakra refining art, and our Hyuga gentle fist. Although you may not be able to cultivate anything, we will not treat you badly." After speaking, Chunin turned around and left without stopping for half a minute. "I'm so annoying?" Hyuga Chen said, rubbing his nose. Then open the scroll. In addition to the chakra refining scroll, there are gentle fist method 8 trigrams 64 palms. Not bad, something is better than nothing. Hyuga Chen put away the scroll, and then left the house. Coming to the back mountain again, this time Hyuga Chen still separated 10 shadow clones, and then took out the gentle fist method for them to study. I started my own exercise. In the afternoon, shadow clones suddenly burst into a cloud of smoke, and then 8 trigrams 64 palms, Hyuga Chen has learned. Coming to the big tree, Hyuga Chen posed a gentle fist pose. And 8 trigrams appeared, shrouded the tree, and then shouted, 8 trigrams 64 palms, 2 palms, 4 palms, 8 palms, 16 palms, 32 palms, 64 palms. Read more at hauntnovel.xyz. Hyuga Chen's hands waved to the extreme, and after images appeared in the void, and the small palms burned with chakra and hit the big tree. With a bang, the big tree that could not be carried by one person exploded, and the sawdust kept flying and falling to the ground. No wonder people in the Hyuga family don't practice ninjutsu. This gentle fist 8 trigrams 64 palms is really a lot of cover, and the power has reached at least the A** level. But the Hyuga family would never have thought that I could succeed in cultivation. Otherwise, they would not directly give me 8 trigrams 64 palms. Although it has been refined into 8 trigrams 64 palms, this must not be exposed, otherwise the people of the Hyuga family will definitely find trouble. Hyuga Chen sighed secretly, and then said. Suddenly, Hyuga Chen's mind flashed. As long as I don't show the ability to acupuncture points, I will use 8 trigrams 64 palms, and it should be fine. Anyway, no one stipulates that you must tap acupuncture points when using gentle fist. I don't have Byakugan, as long as its destructive power is not good. As long as Tenseigan is not exposed, everything is fine. Hyuga Chen smiled, and secretly praised his wit in his heart. Although using gentle fist in this way will double the threat of gentle fist, it is enough to use it with integrity, but in a short time, don't use it anymore. Wait until you graduate from the ninja school in the future. Let's talk about it. Hyuga Chen once again separated 10 shadow clones. This time, instead of letting them practice, they let them practice in pairs. Strong combat experience in the ninja world is the most important thing. Many powerful ninjas do not die in the hands of those with strong combat experience. Take Otsutsuki Kagayaji, her combat experience is not good. Sora has a powerful heaven-defying technique, but in the end she was not defeated. Hyuga Chen doesn't want to be like Kagayaji, who has the power to reincarnate with the golden wheel and cut the air. Isn't that a joke? Anyway, Shadow Clone is not afraid of death, so every move is a killer move. Hyuga Chen watches the battle between Shadow Clone while exercising. He is not watching the excitement, but by watching the battle to improve his combat experience. There are not many people like me who are desperately trying to improve their strength. Looking at the entire ninja world, this is not Hyuga Chen boasting. Hyuga Chen is sure, even Might Ware's father and son, and Shaoli, can't compare with himself. In this way, Hyuga Chen continued to practice from home and then to the back mountain. This kind of 2-point and 1-line life is very peaceful. That is, Hyuga Hisashi once thought that he was strong enough to take revenge, so he came to Hyuga Chen for revenge. However, Hyuga Chen slapped him with a cruel reality, woke him up, and made him strutting and leaving with a swollen face. In addition, Hyuga Chen is most popular with Byakugan, and it is still true Byakugan. Hyuga Chen is also happy. Although every day is as tired as a dead dog, after feeling that his strength is improving every day, Hyuga Chen is happy. In a blink of an eye, another year has passed. During this year's growth, Hyuga Chen has grown a lot, at least half a head taller than his contemporaries. And Hyuga Chen is not only tall, but also powerful. Now Hyuga Chen chakra has reached the shadow level, and the eyeshadow level is also one of the best. However, the purity of chakra is only the elite chunin, which means that although chakra of Hyuga Chen is of the shadow level, the power of the ninjutsu released is far from that of the shadow level. The physical skills have been strengthened a lot. By relying on physical skills alone, Hyuga Chen has the confidence to defeat Jonin. Hyuga Chen feels that his hard power should be similar to that of the elite Jonin, but because he has little combat experience, he is probably not an opponent. The strength of Naruto should be calculated by chakra purity and combat ability. Otherwise, if it is calculated according to the chakra amount, the Senju and Uzumaki clan, wouldn't it be that the shadow ranks are all gone? No matter what the calculation is, the fighting ability is the most important thing. Depending on my abilities, even the shadow level is impossible for me. Hyuga Chen said confidently. This is not Hyuga Chen's arrogance. Sparkling Fruit's ability is indeed abnormal. I can't beat you, can't I still run? At the speed of Sparkling Fruit, even Space Ninjutsu Flying Thunder God can't stop it. All the moves developed by Kizaru have now been developed by Hyuga Chen. The example of Kizaru really saves Hyuga Chen a lot of effort. Rubbing his eyes, Hyuga Chen didn't go to the back mountain anymore, and there was no point in training like this. Now Hyuga Chen is restrained by his age and physical development. No matter how hard he works, he will not improve his strength. He has reached the limit of this age, unless he uses super serum now. But Hyuga Chen can't bear to use it. Episode 14. Sitting cross-legged on the tatami, Hyuga Chen began to compress chakra. This was the only way he could think of to improve the quality of chakra. The light blue chakra in Hyuga Chen's body, under his compression, the color of chakra is constantly deepening. This is too slow. After a long time, Hyuga Chen opened his eyes. During this year, he didn't care about the quality of chakra, which caused him to be very troubled now. Because there are too many chakras, Hyuga Chen wants to purify chakra and has to spend several times the time of others. This is because of his good talent. This time, Hyuga Chen suffered from no practice experience. When other ninjas increased chakra volume, they would also choose to purify chakra energy. But Hyuga Chen patronizes and asks for the quantity, and ignores the quality, which is sadly reminded. Alright, anyway, I don't need to practice physical art for the time being, so concentrate on refining chakra. Let Shadow Clone go to practice ninjutsu. Hyuga Chen comforted himself in his heart. After practicing for a long time, Hyuga Chen walked to the ninja school. A new batch of students from the ninja school is about to enroll. Now is the time to sign up. It is still necessary to go to a ninja school. Although the ninja school teaches basic knowledge, what Hyuga Chen lacks now is the basic knowledge. After I came to the ninja school and paid the tuition, I officially entered the ninja school, and now I am waiting for the beginning of school. Oh. I didn't expect to have to pay tuition fees if I entered a school. If it weren't for family reimbursement, I really didn't want to go to school. Hyuga Chen sighed. 2 years ago, he was also a wealthy man. Now, in only 2 years, he has become a pauper. Had it not been for the numerous creatures in the back mountain, Hyuga Chen would be starving now. Ninjas are big money-consuming consumers. Since practicing, Hyuga Chen has created lead blocks for himself to exercise, buying kunai and shurikens. The money has been spent 7 or 88, plus Hyuga Chen's appetite. All the money has been spent. Hyuga Chen couldn't bear to buy even the detonation talisman. And Hyuga Chen is very fortunate that he has a sage body. Otherwise he would have to add the medicine money. These days, I'm so miserable, and I must abduct Conan when I have time. At that time, the richest person in the ninja world will be me. Anyway, Hyuga Chen doesn't believe that Conan's 600 billion detonating charms are all bought. According to Hyuga Chen's estimation, Conan should make detonating charms by himself. Feeling the hardship of having no money, Hyuga Chen called Conan's idea in his mind. For the poor girl Conan, Hyuga Chen still likes it very much, but now Conan is just born, or hasn't been born yet, it's useless to think so much. Oh. Is it little Chen? Read more at hauntnovel.xyz, huh? Hearing someone calling himself, Hyuga Chen was taken aback, then turned his head and looked away. I just saw Tsunade standing in front of a casino. At this time, Tsunade has undergone earth-shaking changes. First of all, the appa on his chest has reached the level of D cup without seeing him for a year. This is unscientific. A year's time, this is the use of hormones. Otherwise, why would it turn from a flat chest to a balloon? Hyuga Chen felt crazy in his heart. Although I know that Tsunade will become a cow chariot, it will grow too fast. Boy, where are your eyes looking? Tsunade blushed and walked over, reaching out and hitting Hyuga Chen on the head. Hyuga Chen rubbed his head, it hurts him a bit. Tsunade is true, too, and he doesn't make it light or heavy. I haven't seen you in a year. I didn't expect you to be quite tall and almost didn't recognize it. Tsunade reached out and gestured. Hee, you grow faster, I almost didn't recognize it. Hyuga Chen murmured in his heart. Of course he didn't dare to say this, he could only complain in his heart, otherwise Tsunade would definitely greet him with a punch. I spit in my heart, but Hyuga Chen has a cute smile on his face, which makes people can't help but hug him and rave him. Hyuga Chen doesn't feel shameful to be cute. People who have such advantages and don't know how to use them are fools. Hyuga Chen's cute smile, really effective, saw Tsunade hugged Hyuga Chen, and then pressed his head on the huge chest. Hyuga Chen felt a suffocation. After using a lot of strength, he took a breath. A strong milk fragrance spread into his mind, making him a little confused. After a long time, Tsunade let go of Hyuga Chen, and Hyuga Chen was relieved and gasped. Tsunade blushed, and then resumed her carefree character. I don't know why, she feels that Hyuga Chen has a unique attraction. Unlike the intimacy that I rushed to before, Tsunade can't say what it is, just want to get close to Hyuga Chen. If Hyuga Chen knew, he would not be surprised, because he had already completed the lottery a few days ago. And what I got this time was not a powerful ability, but an increase in attraction to the opposite sex. When I got it, Hyuga Chen couldn't help but sucked his mouth. With his looks, coupled with this attraction to the opposite sex, this is the rhythm that makes him a stallion. Hyuga Chen thought of narcissism. Little Chen is here just right, my sister, I will take you to kill the quartet. Tsunade patted his chest proudly. Gudong. Seeing the trembling of Tsunade's chest, Hyuga Chen swallowed. Little pervert. After noticing Hyuga Chen's gaze, Tsunade blushed and cursed, then pulled Hyuga Chen towards the casino. After seeing the casino, Hyuga Chen was about to refuse. Suddenly a bright light flashed in his mind. This is a good opportunity to make money. The title of Tsunade Big Sheep is more famous than her title of Three Ninjas. Thinking of this, Hyuga Chen's mind became active, so he would win against Tsunade in this way, although he was a little sorry for Tsunade. But losing to others is also a loss, and losing to yourself is also a loss. After you win the money, give Tsunade some compensation. The decided Hyuga Chen enters the casino with Tsunade happily. When he came to the casino, Hyuga Chen found that there were really many people who had the same idea as himself. It seems that wherever you go, there is competition. Hyuga Chen sighed. Unfortunately, Tenseigan's perspective can only see the flow of meridians and chakra, otherwise cheating is not easy. Hyuga Chen sighed in his heart. At the beginning, Hyuga Chen was very looking forward to Tenseigan's ability to see through, but after using it, I realized that I could only see the flow of people's meridians and chakra, which made Hyuga Chen happy for nothing. Little Chen, do you have money? I can lend you a little if there is no money, but I have to pay it back, Standing in front of the gaming table, Tsunade said excitedly, "No, I still have some money." I took out the little money I had saved from my wallet, looked at Tsunade who was just as excited, and said to myself, "Sister Tsunade, it's up to you whether it's a young model in the club or going to work in the sea." Although Hyuga Chen has observation hockey, he has never played dice, so he can't cheat. It can only be seen that Tsunade is not strong enough. Tsunade's money is so much. This should be several million taels. Seeing the money Tsunade took out of the seal scroll, a trace of envy flashed in Hyuga Chen's eyes. Episode 15. Little Chen, the first time you come, just follow me to place a bet, and you can win. Haha, Hyuga Chen smiled. If you bet with you, it's not about losing all the pants. After seeing Tsunade betting, Hyuga Chen followed the bet, putting his only 10,000 taels on the opposite side of Tsunade. Little Chen, do you not believe me? Tsunade said angrily. Obviously he had already let him bet with him, but he didn't expect that he still didn't believe in himself, a veteran gambling player, and Tsunade was a little angry. Hyuga Chen opened his mouth and didn't know what to say. He also wanted to believe Tsunade, but Tsunade's record was so scary, he couldn't believe it. Hyuga Chen tilted his head, but fortunately, he didn't see it. Sure enough, after the market opened, Tsunade lost without surprise, and Hyuga Chen's 12,000 taels had already become 50,000 taels, which was a five-fold increase. This can make Hyuga Chen happy. If you run out of money in the future, you can consider bringing Tsunade to the casino to make money. Sister Tsunade, who runs this casino, huh? Why are you asking this? Tsunade, who was in a bad mood because of the loss, asked suspiciously. Nothing, I'm just asking. This casino is led by the Sarutobi family, and the Shimura family, and other major families have invested in it. Except for the Uchiha family. Although Tsunade was puzzled, he still spoke out. The background of this casino is really big. With emotion, Hyuga Chen continued to gamble, as long as it was not opened by the Shimura family. Otherwise, what if Shimura Danzo, the old Inbi, sees how much he wins and sends someone to assassinate himself? Although I feel a little worried, Shimura Danzo should not assassinate others for a small amount of money, but Hyuga Chen is not credible of Shimura Danzo's character. Although Shimura Danzo was washed white in the end, in Hyuga Chen's view, black is black, and it cannot be washed no matter how white it is. After playing for a while until the afternoon, Tsunade had lost all his money, and even borrowed 500,000 from Hyuga Chen. Little Chen, lend me another 500,000 yuan. I feel like I can turn over next time. Tsunade said quickly, a red-eyed gambler. Sister Tsunade. A small gambling is happy, a big gambling hurts you, and a strong gambling is bankrupt. Hyuga Chen couldn't help but dissuade. Judging from Tsunade's appearance, even giving her a few 100,000,000 more is not enough to lose. I feel I can win. Don't you have any points in your heart? If you really win, it is estimated that you are crying. Hyuga Chen secretly vomited, then put the money away, and walked away from the casino. Tsunade, who had no money, could only grit his teeth and dared to come out. After he came out, Tsunade hugged Hyuga Chen and started to vent his anger. Read more at hompnovel.xyz. You guy, don't know to help me, and don't believe me yet. Tsunade pretended to be fierce, but with Tsunade's delicate face, it also has a special flavor. Hyuga Chen raised his head and said depressed, if I believed you, the two of us would have come out long ago. Don't forget the 500,000 taels owed to me. This is to be paid back, I see. Tsunade replied with an erratic expression in his eyes. Hyuga Chen looked at Tsunade and knew that she had never thought of paying back the money. Forget it, just treat it as a reward for Tsunade. Without Tsunade, I can't even enter the casino. Hyuga Chen thought generously. In fact, I was already in tears. It was not that Hyuga Chen was a miser, but that he had been poor for 2 years and suddenly lost a lot of money. Of course, I felt distressed. Puff. Looking at Hyuga Chen's sad face, Tsunade smiled, then took out a scroll and handed it to Hyuga Chen. Sell these ninjutsu to you. Hyuga Chen took it in a daze, and then said a little excitedly, thank you. Sister Tsunade, thanks to me. You will be my brother in the future. If someone dares to bully you in the future, you can tell your sister and I will help you get revenge. Okay. A smile appeared on Hyuga Chen's face. Although he is not afraid of anyone, these words are also Tsunade's kindness. Although Hyuga Chen's EQ is not high, it is not low. Today you won so much money, do you want to invite my sister to have a good meal? Of course it can, I can win so much money, I still thanks to Tsunade's sister. Suddenly, Hyuga Chen felt like he had said something wrong. Hyuga Chen actually thanked Tsunade for bringing him into the casino, but it sounds like it was because Tsunade lost that he won the money. Bump. Tsunade knocked Hyuga Chen on the head and said with a smile, don't worry. Sister, I am not so stingy. I still count my gambling luck a bit. Seeing that Tsunade was not angry, Hyuga Chen also relaxed, and then complained in his heart, this is just what you said now. When you get to the casino, you are not like this. We went to a snack bar with Tsunade. Tsunade ordered some fried chicken, 4-color meatballs, and a pot of sake, and ate it in spite of the image. Tsunade ignored the image, and Hyuga Chen was even less imageless, his mouth filled with food. Eat slowly, and no one will rob you. The mouth was full, Hyuga Chen was struggling to speak, and it took a long time to swallow. It's faster to eat like this, I'm used to it. When Hyuga Chen cultivated, it was absolutely fatal, so he ate very fast. In fact, if it weren't for Hyuga Chen to have a sage body, he could be used up by cultivating lifelessly. After eating with Tsunade, the two separated. The Senju family and the Hyuga family were not in the same direction at all. After returning home, Hyuga Chen first took out the seal scroll specially designed to confuse others from the system backpack, and checked how much money he received. After counting, it was found that there were more than 3 million taels. Gambling is definitely the fastest way to get money, but Tsunade must be present, otherwise there will be no pants left. Hyuga Chen sighed, put all the money in the safest system mall, and Hyuga Chen took out the ninjutsu scroll given by Tsunade. Thinking of this, Hyuga Chen was very grateful to Tsunade. They just met two sides, and Tsunade gave him such a big advantage. In fact, this is all about the attraction of the opposite sex. It can make the opposite sex feel good about him and can easily identify with him. The longer the contact, the greater the effect. With this ability, Hyuga Chen can consider being a great job such as a little white face, a scum, and a humanoid self-propelled gun. Open the ninjutsu scroll. There are 6 ninjutsu recorded above, and each ninjutsu has an annotation. Among them, the most valuable ones are Weird Force and 100 Healings Mark. The other 4 are Water Style, Water Dragon Bomb Technique, Earth Style, Earth Style, Earth Style Technique, Lightning Style, Earth Walking, Water Style, Water Barrier. Episode 16. Among these 6 ninjutsu, only Lightning Style, Zozo, is a C-level ninjutsu, and the others are at least a B-level ninjutsu. In particular, Tsunade's signature physical technique and strange power, and 100 Healings Mark's S-level seal technique. To be honest, Hyuga Chen did not expect that Tsunade would give these 2 techniques to himself. I will think of a way later and repay Tsunade. Hyuga Chen smiled bitterly. The gift Tsunade gave him was so great that he was shocked. Let's practice tomorrow. I don't know how powerful I can be after learning the Strange Force technique. Strange Power is an instantaneous burst of power. If he adds his physical skills and uses armament hockey to increase his power, it will definitely be stronger than Tsunade. This is not an exaggeration. In terms of physical fitness, Hyuga Chen should be 1 point better than Tsunade. This is an advantage. Although chakra is not as pure as Tsunade, it is armament hockey, which can definitely make up, and then use Marine 6 style shaved on the blessing, or the impact brought by the speed of sparkling fruit. It is no exaggeration to say that Hyuga Chen can overwhelm Tsunade head-on. After resting for a night, Hyuga Chen got up and separated 50 shadow clones and let them practice ninjutsu. 50 shadow clone is already the limit of Hyuga Chen. After letting Shadow Clone to practice, Hyuga Chen came to the training ground of the Hyuga family. The training ground of the Hyuga family is very large, and everyone from the entire Hyuga family comes here to practice, and they are all very spacious. The Hyuga family has thousands of people, so you can imagine how big the training ground of the Hyuga family is. Yo! Hyuga Teppanyaki, why don't you play a ninja game? You have trained here. As soon as he arrived at the training ground, Hyuga Chen met his acquaintances and greeted him with a smile. Humph. Now I don't play those ninja games anymore. I want to become a real ninja. Ambitious, I am optimistic about you. Hyuga Chen said with a smile. To say that the Hyuga Tebben family are also awesome characters, this name sounds awesome. He also has an older brother called Hyuga Steel Plate, and his father is Hyuga Alloy. Just by looking at the name, he knows how hard it is. That is, if Hyuga Chen wants to beat them, he has to change his name to Hyuga Star Chen, so that he can dominate them. The young patriarch is here. Hello young patriarch. The young family is so handsome. I really want to marry him. This is what a man said. Horror, huh? A group of people who tend to be inflamed. Compared with Hyuga Chen, I really don't think he is handsome. Read more at hauntnovel.xyz. Hyuga Hayashi walked to the training ground with a stern face, exclaiming to everyone, showing a calm appearance, only 5 years old, with a serious face. In short, Hyuga Hayashi's compelling character is very high, and it caused an exclaim. Some people wanted to flatter him, and some were upset about Hyuga Hayashi's appearance. In short, the entire training ground immediately became lively. Those Chunin and Jonin who saw Hyuga Hayashi would also greet him and salute him. Because Hyuga Hayashi is already the appointed patriarch in the future, everyone respects him very much. When the old man was young, he looked pretty handsome. No wonder Hyuga Hinata, the beauty, and Hyuga Hanabi, the little lowly, were born. Hyuga Chen said secretly, Hayashi, what about your brother Hyuga Hizashi? Why didn't he stay with you? Hyuga Hayashi frowned, then looked at Hyuga Chen, snorted coldly, and left without answering. He has no good feelings towards Hyuga Chen, a tribe who has embarrassed the Hyuga family and has impure blood, and even because of his sense of responsibility, he is even more unhappy with Hyuga Chen than others. Looking at Hyuga Hayashi, who turned away, Hyuga Chen stroked his nose. What's the air? I won't abduct your daughter in the future, and the two abduct them together, and see if you can become proud in the future. Hyuga Chen whispered. If you let Hyuga Hayashi know that Hyuga Chen is thinking about his daughter now, needless to say, he is desperate to make Hyuga Chen look good. Laozi is only 5 years old and hasn't grown up yet. If you are a pervert, you think about your daughter and don't beat anyone else. Hyuga Hayashi walked to a special wooden stake for the human body, and gestured with gentle fist in his hand. A yin and yang tai chi picture enveloped the stake. Gentle fist method 8 trigrams 16 palms. 16 palms were hit on the stakes in succession, and hit precisely at each acupuncture point on the stakes of the human body. It's so powerful, worthy of a powerful patriarch. At a young age, you can play 8 trigrams 16 palms. I am already in my 20s and can only play 8 trigrams 32 palms. The patriarch is talented, and he can definitely lead our Hyuga family to become Konoha's first family, said one of them, Jonin. After hearing these words, Hyuga Chen turned his head and glanced at him. He didn't make a mistake. At the beginning of the plot, the Hyuga family was indeed the Konoha first family, but this can't be taken off. The Hyuga family is the hat of the Hokage Daiichi soy sauce family. To be honest, in the later period, the Hyuga family were all scouts, and a Niji who was able to fight was dead. It was also known as the Hitomi family that went hand in hand with the Uchiha family. Hyuga Chen felt pain in his face. If it weren't for the system plug-in, Hyuga Chen would definitely leave the Hyuga family and seek refuge on a remote island, because the Hyuga family is really weak, at least compared to the big boss behind it. It's weak. Without a system, relying on his own ability to get Tenseigan is simply wishful thinking. Hyuga Chen is still a bit compelling. He knew he had no system, nothing. It can be said that when you come to the world of Hokage, you don't have a plug-in on your body, so you basically don't want to reach the top. After turning around in the training ground and seeing the old husband Hyuga Hayashi, Hyuga Chen also quietly left. Except for the women of the Hyuga family who have been following Hyuga Chen, no one noticed Hyuga Chen's departure at all. Back home, Hyuga Chen thought for a while, then opened the system store. Looking at the ninjutsu above and then at the exchange point in his hand, Hyuga Chen hesitated. Accumulating exchange points in this way will accumulate to the Hokage finale, and you won't be able to buy good things, so just use it now. Then Hyuga Chen bought 3 body technique and body flicker technique and spent 8,000 exchange points. 3 body technique spent a total of 3,000 exchange points, body flicker technique spent 5,000 exchange points, and 51,000 were left. Thousands of exchange points. These 1,000 exchange points make me a bit uncomfortable with my obsessive-compulsive disorder, so I just spend it. After spending 1,000 exchange points, I bought a handful of exquisite kunai, which is sharper than the kunai on the market. For the remaining 50,000, Hyuga Chen purchased a basic swordsmanship proficiency. He can use sparkling fruit to create the Sky Cloud sword. If he doesn't understand any swordsmanship, wouldn't he waste this ability? After accepting the mastery of basic swordsmanship, all the basic techniques of swordsmanship appeared in Hyuga Chen's mind. Episode 17. Although basic swordsmanship is basic, the increase in strength brought to Hyuga Chen is huge. It can be said that in Hokage now, when it comes to basic swordsmanship, Hyuga Chen can definitely be ranked. After a month of training, Hyuga Chen has completely transformed the basic swordsmanship into his own, giving full play to his own characteristics. The characteristic of Hyuga Chen's swordsmanship is speed and strength. It doesn't play any fancy things with you at all. It just cuts up, simple and rude. This also gives full play to Hyuga Chen's strength and speed advantages. It is the most suitable swordsmanship for Hyuga Chen. And this month has passed, the ninja school is about to open, and Hyuga Chen is a freshman in this class. Put on a black strong suit, tie all the weight-bearing lead blocks to the body, and then put on a black imperial robe outside. After pushing the door open, Hyuga Chen walked towards the ninja school. And along the way, I also met many parents and took their children to the ninja school. This little guy is so handsome. Is it also a freshman in this ninja school? Isn't this Chen? I didn't expect to be so handsome today. I almost couldn't recognize you. I can definitely fascinate a group of little girls when I get to school. Thank you, Uncle Yuerin, for the compliment. Hyuga Chen responded with a smile. Although he was dressed in black, Hyuga Chen was not cold at all. Soon I came to the ninja school, and by this time, the ninja school was already full, with parents and new students in this class. Hyuga Chen found a place, sat down, and quietly looked at the rioting school training ground. Maybe more than 10 years later, this scene is also a good memory. Hyuga Chen has a smile on his face, full of affinity. With a handsome face, I don't know how many little girls are moved by it. With pink hearts in her eyes, she looks at the handsome Hyuga Chen, revealing an idiot's gaze. And those little boys looked at Hyuga Chen unhappy, with blazing flames in their eyes. They were very unhappy with Hyuga Chen, who robbed them of the limelight as soon as this appeared. TSK Tusk. These are the legendary nymph eyes and jealous eyes. They are really amazing. I, Tenseigan, admire them, feeling the eyes full of love, and the eyes full of killing intent, with extremely hot eyes, Hyuga Chen whispered. Suddenly, Hyuga Chen was slapped on the shoulder. Hyuga Chen was not surprised. He turned to Tsunade and said, Sister Tsunade, how do you recognize me? Read more at hontnovel.xyz. Chen, I found that you were not surprised at all. Did you know that I was behind you a long time ago? Tsunade asked suspiciously. She didn't make a sound just now. Of course I feel it. Hyuga Chen said with a smile. Tsunade took a deep look at Hyuga Chen, and then stopped asking. Everyone has everyone's secrets, and she didn't want to explore them. I really felt it, and thank you Tsunade sister for giving me the ninjutsu. This is for you. Hyuga Chen took out the Marine 6 Styles manuscript, Observation Hockey, and Armament Hockey's practice method. Is this? Tsunade took it suspiciously, and opened it. It took a long time for Tsunade to finish reading, and then handed it back to Hyuga Chen with a solemn expression. Chen, I don't know where you got it from, but you put it away properly, and don't expose it. Tsunade, who has always been careless, has an unusually serious face. Hyuga Chen didn't take it, grinning, showing 2 rows of big white teeth. This was originally a gift from my sister to you. If you don't accept it, you just look down on me. Repaying virtue by virtue and grievance is the style of Hyuga Chen. Hyuga Chen is not a good person, but Tsunade is able to give himself the most important ninjutsu, which is enough for Hyuga Chen to remember for a lifetime. People who treat me sincerely, I will treat her sincerely. Tsunade opened his mouth, looked at Hyuga Chen's somewhat unhappy face, and put it away. Thank you little Chen, I will never pass these moves to someone else. Tsunade said moved. Although she only glanced at it roughly, she could also see the value. The first is Marine 6 Styles, each of which is at least not lower than A** ninjutsu, while Observation Hockey and Armament Hockey are definitely S-level secret arts, even higher. Hyuga Chen smiled, and then reminded, Sister Tsunade, if you want to learn these physical skills, you have to endure hardship. With your current physical fitness, you can barely use it. It's not a big deal to be able to use those powerful physiques, even to suffer a little bit. Marine 6 Styles made Tsunade an eye-opener, shaped fast movement, moonwalk flight, finger pistol and tempest kick attacks, and iron body and paper arts defenses, arguably the most comprehensive. Observation Hockey, after learning, is the best scout ninja, and can also predict enemy attacks. Armament Hockey, the most widely used hockey among Conqueror's Hockey, not to mention the defensive ability, just say the abnormal amplification ability, can make Tsunade's strength explode several times. Thank you, little Chen. Tsunade didn't ask how these physiques came about. Since Hyuga Chen believed her and gave her these physiques, she still asked what they were doing. Sister. I'm here. Just when Hyuga Chen wanted to talk, he yelled and interrupted him. Hyuga Chen and Tsunade looked at the place where the sound came from. My name is Tsunade sister, is it Senju Nawaki? Hyuga Chen secretly said in his heart. Tsunade's next words also confirmed Hyuga Chen's guess. Nawaki, you idiot, what the hell is yelling? Tsunade looked at Nawaki dissatisfied. Oh. Who is he? Sister, you old cow eat tender grass. Nawaki said wry eyes. Bump. Nawaki fell to the ground with an upside-down green onion. His head is already buried in the ground, and his limbs are constantly shaking. How could I have you stupid brother? An imperceptible blush flashed across Tsunade's face, and then he retracted his fist angrily. Hyuga Chen looked at Nawaki, and the corners of his mouth twitched. This guy is here to be funny. After using a lot of strength, Nawaki pulled out his head, and then complained, they said that I don't want to hit my head. If I am stupid, you will do it. I think you are stupid now. Hyuga Chen complained in his heart, never expecting Nawaki to be so stupid, really like Naruto. It's the one with the protagonist's aura, the other is a dragon suit, and it's tragic to say it, 2 people with similar personalities, they are treated completely differently. Episode 18. After a little bit of fun, under the introduction of Tsunade, Hyuga Chen and Senju Nawaki also knew each other, and Senju Nawaki is a familiar character. He walked over and patted Hyuga Chen on the shoulder and said, Don't worry, I will cover you after entering school. Okay. I'll be in trouble then, I will definitely find you, then don't regret what you say now. Hyuga Chen's face was full of smiles. I'm going to be a Hokage person, of course I have to do what I say. Senju Nawaki said, patting his chest. When the number of new students enrolled this time was about to come, the old man of 3rd generation appeared on the stage. It can't be said that he is the old man of 3rd generation. The current 3rd Hokage is in his prime, and his strength is at its peak, at least the strength of the peak of the movie class. Stepping onto the podium, Sarutobi Hiruzen started a long talk, starting with the creation of Konoha village by 1st Hokage Senju Hashirama, talking about Konoha's prosperity and the turmoil in other ninja villages. In summary, Konoha is harmonious and peaceful, and other ninja villages are in turmoil. Then I'm talking about how bad other shinobu villages are, how good Konoha is, about Konoha's spirit, the will of fire, how powerful first Hokage and second Hokage are, and so on. I hope you will grow into a powerful ninja and guard Konoha Shinobi Village. In the future, one of you may be the next generation of Naruto. Where the leaves fly, the fire is endless, the fire will continue to illuminate the village and let the new leaves germinate. This is our Konoha's will of fire. It has been passed down from the first generation to the present day. I hope you can continue to convey it forever. Sarutobi Hiruzen's words make these children who have just entered school. They are full of enthusiasm and excitement, especially Senju Nawaki next to Hyuga Chen. His blood was burning, and he almost smashed an egg by accident. It was so bloody. Hyuga Chen was drowsy and didn't listen to it at all. He listened too much to such a speech, and he couldn't lift the spirit at all. Moreover, the will of fire is a selfless spirit, which is not suitable for Hyuga Chen at all. Even Hyuga Chen and the will of fire are walking on two opposite paths. Hyuga Chen is convinced that people are not for themselves, and the heavens are destroyed. To put it plainly, it is selfish. The people Hyuga Chen cares about, the people in Konoha village all die in front of him, and he will not blink his eyes. Just so selfish and indifferent. So don't watch Hyuga Chen smile every day, but behind the smile, he is more indifferent than anyone else. The personalities of Hyuga Chen and Aizen are very similar. The difference is that Hyuga Chen does not have Aizen's ambitions, nor does it have Aizen's ambitions. When he came to the world of Naruto, even with the help of the system, Hyuga Chen never thought of dominating the ninja world and dominating the world. What he yearns even more is that he and a group of beautiful women are not ashamed or embarrassed every day, sitting and watching the situation rise, smiling at the change of the world. Read more at hompnovel.xyz. Little Chen, you seem to be not very interested in what the old man said. Seeing Hyuga Chen yawning constantly, Tsunade behind Hyuga Chen said. Sister Tsunade is not interested, too. Hyuga Chen also replied, I've said this hundreds of times, and I'm tired of hearing it. Tsunade looked bored. Little Chen, don't change the subject. Hyuga Chen smiled upon hearing this, and then said, the real will of fire is not implemented by first generation except first generation. Therefore, the will of fire has disappeared with first generation. Maybe one day, it will reappear. Tsunade frowned, and thoughtfully, she agreed with Hyuga Chen's words. Tsunade has a very good understanding of Konoha's internal situation. There are constant conflicts among the various families. Looking at it this way, will of fire is more like a joke. Hyuga Chen sneered at the will of fire, which may seem very beautiful, but this is a beautiful fantasy unless the entire Konoha is people like Senju Hashirama and Uzumaki Naruto. Otherwise, the will of fire can only be on the lips forever. In other words, the will of fire is only suitable for a few people. It took Sarutobi Hiruzen all morning to finish speaking. At this time, Hyuga Chen finally breathed a sigh of relief, and then showed admiration. Talking all morning without stopping, Hyuga Chen really admires it, but looking at the bloody ninja students around, I have to say that this brainwashing was very successful. This is the end of the morning. After lunch, the school is divided into classes. Everyone brought their lunch boxes and found a place to eat. Of course Hyuga Chen also brought them, but when Hyuga Chen took out his stool, Senju Nawaki swallowed his saliva and asked with difficulty, you can eat so much? Regarding Senju Nawaki's question, Hyuga Chen just smiled, lowered his head and started fighting as a fight. Actions can prove everything. Tsunade smiled at this. After seeing Marine 6 styles, she also knew why Hyuga Chen could eat so much. Not only did Hyuga Chen's bento shock Nawaki, but the children around him, as well as the accompanying parents, were shocked. Hyuga Chen turned a blind eye to these gazes and walked his own way, so why bother to care about the gazes of others? After eating the lunch, the school teacher began to divide the class, and soon read the name of Hyuga Chen, and he was placed in Class A. And he also heard some familiar names, such as the three brothers of the pig, the deer and the butterfly, the brothers of Hayashi and Hizashi, 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato, Uchiha Makoto, Senju Nawaki, and others. Go to Class A with Senju Nawaki. Tsunade has now left. When I came to Class A, there were not many people. Senju Nawaki took Hyuga Chen and said, Chen, let's do it together. Still, I like a person. Hyuga Chen directly rejected Senju Nawaki, disappointed Senju Nawaki, but did not force it. However, after Hyuga Chen rejected Nawaki, he was very unscrupulous to be next to Uchiha Makoto. Senju Nawaki looked at Hyuga Chen bitterly. This is the one you like. Feeling the look in Senju Nawaki's eyes, Hyuga Chen feels a bit chilly. Senju Nawaki is not gay, right? Turning his head away from Senju Nawaki, he said to Uchiha Makoto, my name is Hyuga Chen, and I will be yours at the same table from now on, so please give me some advice. Uchiha Makoto looked at Hyuga Chen Junyi Wushuang's face, with a hint of blush on his cheeks, and whispered Kaido, my name is Uchiha Makoto. I am glad to meet you, classmate Hyuga Chen. Makoto classmate calls me Chen just fine, otherwise it will look too strange. Hyuga Chen said almost. Mikoto's face turned redder. You must know that you can only call by name if you have a good relationship or a relative. At this time, the advantages of appearance and the attractiveness of the opposite sex will show off. Mikoto's lack of anger can explain everything. After that, I will ask Chen for advice. Mikoto endured the shyness in his heart and said softly. Episode 19. Seeing Mikoto's gentleness as water, Hyuga Chen smiled. As expected of Naruto world, the most suitable role as a wife. Although Uchiha Mikoto doesn't make many appearances, but the popularity is still not low, like this Yamato Nadeshiko, Hyuga Chen naturally likes it. Hyuga Chen has already decided, Mikoto will be his person from now on. Uchiha Fugaku is a trash, let's go and fly by yourself. As for whether Uchiha Itachi and Urtsuzi will be born in the future, does this have anything to do with Hyuga Chen? To be honest, for the so-called Itachi god, Hyuga Chen doesn't catch a cold, not why, because they are two different people. A person who has great love and loves the village is better than everything, except Sasuke, but Hyuga Chen is extremely selfish, he only cares about the people who care about. So Hyuga Chen does not have a cold for this popular character. Hyuga Chen will not deny that what he did is wrong, nor will he think he is right. This is a conflict of ideas. Two people with different personalities have different definitions of one thing. Anyway, Hyuga Chen will not sacrifice himself and his relatives for other irrelevant people. Your heart is big, you can hold the world, my heart is too small, I can only hold the people I should hold. I don't like Uchiha Itachi Hyuga Chen anymore, not to mention Uchiha Sasuke, this guy Hyuga Chen has no liking anymore. Why are you staring at me? Mikoto said angrily. Of course it's because you are beautiful. I think you have seen that you can't help yourself. You have stolen my heart from the time I saw you. Hyuga Chen said exaggeratedly. Mikoto's face turned red all of a sudden. Mikoto turned his head directly, staring at the front distractedly, not daring to look at Hyuga Chen anymore. Hyuga Chen still looked at Mikoto unscrupulously, making Mikoto's heartbeat continue to accelerate. However, Uchiha Mikoto did not reject this, but was a little bit happy. Chen, you guy, you have the opposite sex and inhumanity. Seeing Hyuga Chen and Uchiha Mikoto, the atmosphere became more ambiguous, and Senju Nawaki stood up and said, Nawaki, you can't say that, sitting with you. Where is it comfortable to sit with beautiful women, and you see you at the same table, not a handsome boy, absolutely satisfy your taste, don't stare at me. Hyuga Chen pointed at Senju Nawaki's tablemate, and Senju Nawaki's tablemate was 4th Hokage Namake's Minato. What? Nawaki looked confused. Although Hokage's children are generally precocious, they are only children, and naturally, they don't know the meaning of Hyuga Chen's words. I mean, I don't like men, you can find someone else. Hyuga Chen said blankly, read more at hauntnovel.xyz, I don't like men either. Nawaki roared angrily, really? I might have misunderstood. But when he said that he misunderstood, his face showed an expression of disbelief. Nawaki wanted to explain angrily, but there was no way to explain it. And Namake's Minato, who was lying innocently with a gun, had a dumbfounded look, and subconsciously moved away from Nawaki. If it weren't for being afraid of Nawaki's anger, Namake's Minato would have wanted to change positions. Now there are only a few people in the class, and it's not that there is no position. Huh. Wait, I want to tell my sister that you have an affair outside. Senju Nawaki sat down angrily. Hyuga Chen remained unmoved and continued to make Uchiha Mikoto blushing. The current Mikoto, whose face is so hot, can boil eggs. Mikoto, you are really shy. The classmates are here, if you bully me again, I will ignore you. Mikoto blushed and replied. Hyuga Chen also knows that enough is enough, otherwise it will leave a bad impression on Mikoto, which will be bad. Seeing that Hyuga Chen really didn't tease himself, Uchiha Mikoto was a little bit disappointed. With the passage of time, students from Class A have also arrived, such as the Pig Deer Butterfly Trio, the Hyuga brothers, and Inuzuka Claws. When Hyuga Hizashi saw Hyuga Chen, he showed a touch of anger, and then hurriedly hid, for fear of being spotted by Hyuga Chen and beat him up. Now Hyuga Hizashi is already afraid of Hyuga Chen because he has been beaten several times. Hyuga Hayashi glanced at Hyuga Chen, and then took Hyuga Hizashi to sit down. Hyuga Chen shrugged, then lay down on the table, seeming to be sleeping, but in fact he was purifying chakra in his body. What did you say? Nawaki stood up angrily. I said everyone in this class must listen to me. Uchiha Jien, an arrogant boy with the Uchiha family crest printed on his back, was confronting Nawaki. In the entire class, the atmosphere was extremely solemn. Whether it was a commoner or a student of the family, he looked at Uchiha Jien with an unkind expression. Among them, Hyuga Hayashi and Senju Nawaki were the most responsive. The hatred between Senju and Uchiha has been around for a long time, and it can no longer be adjusted in one sentence or two. The Hyuga clan and Uchiha clan are known as the two major eye surgery families in the ninja world, and who is the best of these two families is also concerned by everyone. Therefore, between these two families, there is also a smell of gunpowder. And the Uchiha clan is now Konoha's guard, which is a good job and a hard job. If it is a sleek job, this is a good job, which can make the major families owe themselves some favors. But the Uchiha family all have long out Yin's face. In such a position that must be sleek, they hang up more than anyone, catching this and that from time to time, and the entire Konoha family has been offended all over again. In the eyes of Konoha civilians, the Uchiha clan is not a good thing, and has no good impression of them. To put it bluntly, the Uchiha family is stinky shit now, and wherever you put it, people will dislike it. No one likes to deal with arrogant families who don't put anyone in their eyes, and they don't put you in their eyes anymore. Are you still looking at your face? No one is so cheap. Therefore, Uchiha Jien is really cheap, and it offends a large number of people when he comes up. Even Hyuga Chen, who is lying on the table and has been purifying chakra, can't help but raise his head and watch the scene with interest. Looking at the fierce crowd, Hyuga Chen doesn't mind putting on fire. Who makes this guy, Hyuga Chen, look unhappy? Do you know this guy? Hyuga Chen patted Mikoto on the shoulder, and then asked. Mikoto blushed first, and then whispered, he is a genius of our Uchiha family, but he is very arrogant, and he is also the grandson of the elder, qualified to compete for the position of the patriarch. No wonder you dare to be arrogant. You still nodded. Hyuga Chen said with a smile, yeah. He bullies people all day, it's very annoying, even in the Uchiha family, he is not welcome. After speaking, even the gentle girl, Mikoto, showed a trace of disgust. Episode 20. Seeing the steroid scene without a fight, Hyuga Chen felt a little boring. Look at Mikoto's appearance, you also hate this guy, I will teach him a lesson. He said to Mikoto, and Hyuga Chen was about to stand up. Mikoto hurriedly stretched out his hand, and then said anxiously, Chen, you must not go. Although he is very annoying, he is not weak in strength. He is a real genius. Oh? Is Mikoto caring about me? Hyuga Chen stared at Uchiha Mikoto with affectionate eyes. Me. Mikoto's face was flushed, like a big apple, which made people unable to take a bite. Don't worry. Hyuga Chen patted Mikoto's little hand, then stood up. I said Hayashi, I don't think you are qualified to be a young patriarch at all. A word of Hyuga Chen attracted everyone's attention, and they all looked at Hyuga Chen, especially Hyuga Hayashi. Although his pure white eyes can't see anything, everyone still sees his anger on his expression. What did you say? That's angry. I think you're just a nest. He was going to ride on your face just now. You didn't dare to make a sound. You thought about the shivering quail, and now you are pretending to be something with me. You only become the young patriarch because you are the clan, otherwise you are nothing. Hyuga Chen said something disdainfully, completely igniting Hyuga Hayashi's anger. You said I'm afraid of him? Hyuga Hayashi pointed to Uchiha Ken and said angrily, yes, if you are not afraid of him, you can beat him to prove yourself. Hyuga Chen nodded, okay, I will let you trash know today. Why did I become the young patriarch? Hyuga Hayashi picked up chakra, slapped the table with a slap, and walked towards Uchiha Ken. TSK Tusk. This table didn't provoke you again, and turned out to be your punching bag. I really feel distressed for it. Hyuga Chen said with his arms folded. I, Hyuga Hayashi, want to challenge you. Do you dare to accept it? Hyuga Hayashi said in a cold voice. Why don't you dare? I want you to know that your Byakugan of the Hyuga clan is worthless in front of our Uchiha clan Sharingan. Uchiha Jien said arrogantly. Uchiha Ken's words completely annoyed Hyuga Hayashi. He takes the glory of the Hyuga family very seriously. How can people be so full of the Hyuga family? I said your name is Uchiha Ken. You said that Byakugan is worthless in front of Sharingan. Could it be that you have Sharingan now? Hyuga Chen smiled. Uchiha Ken was speechless for a while, and then said in embarrassment, I don't rely on Sharingan, and I can trample your trash under my feet. Read more at hontnovel.xyz. This sentence completely angered everyone. If it weren't for Nara Keiji's pull, Yamanaka Keiichi and Akamichi Dingza would stand up. Nowaki, look at his arrogant appearance, can you still bear it? Let's beat him together. There is a saying that the law does not blame the public. Hyuga Chen added another fire. When Hyuga Chen fired up, Hyuga Hayashi was already on, and he slapped Uchiha Ken out. Nowaki couldn't help it, and went up and hit Uchiha Ken's face, who had not yet risen. Seeing Hyuga Hayashi and Nowaki take action, and Hyuga Chen said that the law does not blame the public, the entire class A people, except Hyuga Chen, Uchiha Mikoto, Namikaze Minato, and Nara Luku, all rushed up. Hyuga Chen smiled and watched the scene. In fact, it was Hyuga Hayashi who was able to compliment Uchiha's education. Although the Hyuga family belongs to the soy sauce family, There are basically no people who can beat the Hyuga family at the age of 5, because at this time, except for super geniuses, no one knows ninjutsu at all, so everyone basically relies on physical skills at this time. As for the Hyuga family, as a family of physical skills, it is certain that the Jiain will not be fast even if it is capable of ninjutsu, and it will be interrupted before you finish the seal. If you do this, it will definitely cause dissatisfaction with the Uchiha family. Why do you want to do this? Naruto asked, looking at the calm Hyuga Chen. Although Hyuga Chen did not do anything, but Hyuga Chen is the initiator. It's not why, it's just that I just want to do things. Hyuga Chen watched the show with his arms. If the strength is not enough, Hyuga Chen will definitely not jump like this, but now Hyuga Chen's strength is not weak, and he is already qualified to jump. This is Konoha Shinobi Village. Even the Uchiha clan is dissatisfied with him, and will not take him seriously. Besides, through Makoto's conversation, Hyuga Chen also knows that there is a discord within the Uchiha family. This Uchiha Jian is a competitor for the next generation of the Patriarch, and he is definitely at odds with the Patriarch, so whether someone will come to trouble Hyuga Chen, not necessarily. What's going on? Stop it for me. Everyone stopped, looked at the door, and then quickly returned to their seats. What the hell is going on? When Okuri, the teacher of Class A, pointed to the miserable Uchiha Ken. At this time Uchiha Ken had fainted. The teacher when Okuri checked it and found that it was only a skin injury, and the injury was not serious, so he breathed a sigh of relief. If this is really seriously injured, he, the teacher, will have to bear the responsibility, but the first day of enrollment, such a bad incident happened, it still made him angry. All the people who participated just now stood up, but I saw them all, you can't hide from me. When Okuri's expression was extremely serious. After speaking in Ueno Shuri, most of the class stood up, only Hyuga Chen, Uchiha Makoto, Naruto, and Namikaze Minato were still sitting steadily. At this time everyone focused on Hyuga Chen's body. Look at what I did, I didn't do anything. Hyuga Chen said with an innocent look. Shameless. It's shameless. Obviously he instigated it, but now he pretended to be okay, making everyone itchy with hatred. Looking at these people, Ueno Shuri was a little worried. This class is almost all children of a large family, and it is not easy to manage at all. All of you will go out to the penalty station. An angry Ueno Kumi could only make such a punishment. Teacher, Hyuga Chen provoked all this, you can't let him go. Hyuga Hizashi pointed at Hyuga Chen. Hyuga Chen stroked his chin, feeling that he had taught Hyuga Hizashi too little. Who is Hyuga Chen? Ueno Kuri roared. Then in Makoto's worried eyes, Hyuga Chen stood up helplessly. You also go out together. Although I was very surprised to see Hyuga Chen without Byakugan, but the angry Ueno tree couldn't manage that much. Teacher, Chen did not participate. Uchiha Makoto stood up, trying to intercede with Hyuga Chen. It seems that you are in a good relationship, just follow him out and stop together. After speaking, he left with Uchiha Ken, who was in a coma. He just did a rough check, and didn't know what the injury was. It would be better to send it to the medical office for a look.